Joining us now, look who's here, Senator Ron Johnson from Senate Homeland Security. Senator, a pleasure to have you on. Thanks for joining us. Okay, Senator, talk to us about these government whistleblowers telling your office top FBI officials told FBI agents to stall and delay looking into Hunter Biden's laptop until after the 2020 election. The FBI had the laptop since 2019. Who were these whistleblowers?
Well, first, I want to thank all the whistleblowers, not only coming to my office, but also Senator Grassley's, Congressman Jim Jordan's. If we're going to restore integrity and credibility of these agencies, we need people inside those agencies coming forward to Congress so that we can make the truth public. It's the only way we're going to restore credibility. But again, I have to maintain their anonymity. But these are individuals that are coming forward and saying that inside the FBI, there was an effort. In Chuck Grassley's whistleblower's case, a scheme hatched in August of 2020 to downplay the derogatory information on Hunter, basically quash the investigation. We have whistleblowers coming forward that are saying that specifically they were told not to look at the laptop because they didn't want to interfere in the election. Now, the fact of the matter is, Hunter Biden was not going to be on the ballot. I'm not even sure that Joe Biden had announced at that point in time. By the fact of the FBI not doing its job, and let's face it, something was on that computer that prompted them to subpoena it from Mr. McIsaac. He'd offered to them earlier. They weren't interested. Something came up. I'm not 100% sure. I've heard rumors, but causing them to subpoena that in December 2019 is when they took possession of that. And then they were basically told, don't do anything with it. By not doing anything with it, they interfered in our election. So, and of course, other members of our intelligence community have also interfered in our elections.
So that's the interference, right? Because, you know, you sent a letter to the DOJ Inspector General Hurst to look into it, because it sounds like this happened right when 51 intelligence officials were on the media before the election to falsely claim this laptop was Russian disinformation. They said that as if that was fact, when they were admitting it was just their own opinion, their own speculation, that they had no proof of that. So are these FBI agents really upset and outraged about what's going on, the whistleblowers?
Yes, that's why they're coming forward. But again, this is just one piece of the puzzle. I mean, falling right into that same puzzle is also in August 2020, Senator Grassley and I both received unsolicited briefings from the FBI. I think for two reasons: to set us up to smear me later, and they did that in May when they leaked that briefing to the Washington Post of 2021, but also to take us off the trail. We were in the midst of our investigation of Hunter Biden based on U.S. documents, U.S. persons, but we were being smeared that we were soliciting and disseminating Russian disinformation. We were briefed like, we were part of the, a target of Russian disinformation. This is when the FBI had a scheme to downplay the derogatory information they knew they had about Hunter Biden. So we need to get to the bottom of this. I've asked Michael Horowitz to start investigating the FBI's investigation of Hunter Biden. It's long past time they start doing that.
Can they look at the FBI's case management system? It's called is it called the Sentinel system, to see the FBI's investigative activity, to see it progress and then stop because somebody interfered?
That is certainly the first place to start. That's what we suggested in our letter. But again, it is way past time that we start investigating the FBI. We subpoenaed the FBI under President Trump. President Trump wanted this information made public. It never was made public. They've been hiding the ball on the American public for years.
And explain what Hunter Biden and the Biden family were doing. Deal making with Russia, often, also with China, Kazakhstan, deal making in Romania, Mexico, often energy infrastructure deals as well. And Hunter Biden, your Senate Finance, Senate Homeland Security, the GOP report found he was consorting with Eastern European sex trafficking rings, right? And also drug intake as well. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we laid out a vast web of foreign financial entanglements with a number of countries. We didn't have all the details, but the Hunter Biden laptop did. It's a treasure trove of information. More and more of that information is coming out. It seems quite incriminating. It certainly looks like criminal activity to me. And here, again, the FBI has been sitting on this thing since December of 2019. And my concern is that, the U.S. Attorney, Mr. Weiss, might cut a deal with Hunter Biden enter a plea agreement, and then seal all the records so the American public never understands the full corruption of Biden Inc. and the family.
Got it. Senator Johnson, thanks for coming on the show.